Now I invite Mrs. Usha Rani ma'am from S. Vyasa University for a paper presentation on the topic Bhakti Yoga and Value Education.
हरि ओं नमः सदसे मातरं पितरं नत्वा स्मृत्वा श्रीगुरुपादुकां प्रारभे मम वक्तव्यं स्तुत्वा वाणीं विनायकम् सभा सरस्वती नमः. I'm going to present my paper on the topic Bhakti Yoga and Value Education. So first of all, we will see, please go to the third slide. Yeah. So my topics are Bhakti as an added value, impact of Bhakti on life, Bhakti as a yoga. So there is a difference between Bhakti as we understand it and as a yoga. And then values imparted by Bhakti, and then problems and solutions, and then we'll conclude with some advices to the education system from my side, my contribution. Okay, please go ahead. First, Bhakti as an added value. There are 4 yogic paths as we are aware of. They are Karma, Jnana, Bhakti and Raja Yogas. So what we call as Ashtanga Yoga is the Raja Yoga. It comes under the Raja Yoga. Then Bhakti, there are like Mantra Yoga, Japa Yoga, many other yogas are there. But we can summarize all of them into these 4 streams. So the Bhaktas, we know, like we understand Bhakti very naturally because since childhood we have heard about it. But Bhagavad Gita says that there are 4 kinds of Bhaktas. They are Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu and the Jnani. Okay, and what they are, it is described in the Shankara Bhashya. So whatever authentically we want to describe, we always go to the Shankara Bhashya for the details. Okay, and then now we will see what are the values in general. We are saying value education. So what are those values? So some of the values which are very important and missing in these days are, first of all, self-awareness. So self as described in our Shastras is much different from what we understand as self in these days in the modern world. Okay, then sense of respect. We are not having Atma Gaurava. Swabhimana, okay, we are missing it as Bharatiyas, as Sanatana Dharmas. We are missing those values. So those I consider most important values. And then social responsibility. So simple things like I'm watching these days in the society, much has changed. We are not aware of what the other person is undergoing, what the other person needs. Emotional intelligence is coming very down these days. So that social responsibility, that sense is also one of the important values. Then we have integrity and morality. We are not integrated beings because our education system is the one to blame, and a lot of other things that we are imitating the West and aping, and all these feelings are making us non-ourselves. So we are not integral anymore. So we need some morality, we need some integratedness and all this. And all this then we are not one in word and deed. Manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam, mahatmanam, manasyanyat, vachasyanyat, karmanyanyat, duratmanam. So duratmas are not one in word. They say something, they think something, they do something else. Okay, but the Mahatmas, they always say one thing, do that, and also they think that also in their mind. So there is oneness in there. That is more important value. Then empathy. Empathy is much different from sympathy. Okay, psychology describes empathy as feeling how the other person is feeling. It's not sympathy that's showing some sympathy. Sympathy has a negative connotation as well, like making the other person feel down. Empathy doesn't make other people feel down. Okay, that is another. Then equality. Of course, dealing others like equal, not based on the caste, creed, sex, anything. Nothing should make us look at the other person as a down than me or higher than me. Both. Okay, then ethical thinking. So ethics are lot of missing. We are bypassing lot of ethics these days. I see that values are needed much. So there are many more values. I just chose these. Okay, then how to bhakti. Now we'll come back to our topic, and these are the values. This is the bhakti. Now see what is the connection between them. Bhakti also is seen to develop great qualities inside the human beings. Okay, and for that I have taken the examples from real Bhaktas' lives. Okay, when we study a lot of Bhaktas' lives, we see a lot of inspiring events happening around, and I want to share a few of them. They are first of all bold and independent. Bhakta he never, like, I'm talking about the sublimate bhakti. I'm not talking about something that we call as bhakti. We think that we have bhakti, but I'm talking about the true bhakti. Once it happens inside our hearts, what can happen to us? We see them, they are that very bold and independent. Okay, they have displayed that in their lives. And they never think about failure. They don't have even least a doubt that they will fail. They'll just try, they'll keep trying. Okay. And then they are very self-confident. And where is the self-confidence coming from? From their belief in Bhagavan. Okay. Then they are selfless and they are sensitive. They're always ready to help. They are very sensitive to the others' needs. Then they are like balanced. They never feel the insecurity because they always give everything to Bhagavan. See, if any good happens, because of Bhagavan, I have achieved it. They are not like arrogant. Okay. And even same with the failure. See, when I have heard from the elders that when we are very feeling bad, down about the failure, we have much guilt and all, even that is emerging out of our ego. So they are not egoistic. Okay, so they are not insecure at all. And they are very courageous at any point. They go to any extent and miracles happen at that point of time when they test all the human limits and they bypass all that levels of human limitation. Then they are very pain enduring. Lot of kashta happens in their lives. Lot of difficulties come, but they never bend. Okay, they never bend. They never look down and they never question. Okay, that they're unswerving. Their attitude towards Bhagwan is unquestionable. So they are at that point. So these are the values which bhakti makes happen in somebody. Okay, now we have inspiring lives of bhaktas, which I have taken some examples. There are many bhaktas throughout the Shastra. The Bhagavata is a full story of many bhaktas. Okay, Prahlada we have, for example. So there are many famous ones. I took only some of them. Markandeya, and he is like, he wins over the death, isn't it? He believes in Shiva and Shiva comes and kills the death. That is where he becomes Mrityunjaya. He becomes that, like he kills Yama itself directly. Mirabai, she has been given poison. She drinks poison, but nothing happens to her. Can it be possible in a human limitation? Please tell me. Please think, if I give poison or somebody gives me poison, will it be possible that I don't die? It's not possible. But it happened in Mira's life. How did it happen? So that is the point we have to think. It humanly happened. It happened in this human world. That is the point I want to bring to your notice. Okay, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know him. He did lot of miracles. And one common point in all these people, like Mirabai, Tukaram, Vengamamba. Tukaram had a house. He has a house. But these people have left the houses. They came out and lived on their own. So every day we have to eat 3 times. So when they leave the house and come out, how was their food working? This is a very important question to ponder. Then we have Tukaram, who wrote great abhangs and all. You know his wife, he's famous for his wife bashings and all. He used to give lot of creative answers to his wife. So she beats him and all that. He says every day it just rained, today it is thundering also. Every day it thunders, it also rained today. All this, she pours water on his head and all these things. And when the children come to him, she sends him to for some business purpose. And he thinks that he doesn't sell them to the people to get back some money for the profit. He just distributes the sweets to the children, thinking that they are Krishnas. So he sees them, actually literally he's seeing them as Krishnas, little Krishnas, and he plays with them. He wrote very beautiful abhangs. Okay. And Ramadasa, I don't think many of you know. He is from South India, Andhra Pradesh. He belongs to Telangana, now Telangana. And he's a great bhakta. His life has inspired me so much. He has, for him, what happens, I'll tell you the small, very, very briefly, I'll tell you the story points. Like he was a great Rama Bhakta, and Ramayana happening he sees. When he goes around the Godavari forest, around Godavari Nadi, around forest, so there Rama went there, he sees those visions in his life. That changes him and he becomes a Rama Bhakta. Then when he goes to Bhadrachalam, where these nearby, where it happens, these incidents happen, there is a Prachina temple there. But that is very dilapidated condition and he feels very bad about it. At that time, he was working with the king. The ruler of that time was a Muslim ruler, Tana Shah. His name was Tana Shah. So he's a historical. I'm not talking about some Bhagavata time or some Treta Yuga, Sat Yuga time. I'm talking about Kali Yuga times. Okay, so Muslim, this ruler, what he does is, he puts him as a tax collector and he collects all the money. He doesn't give to the ruler. He spends it on the mandir remaking and all that. For that, he is like put into the prison and he undergoes lot of difficulties. Every day they only keep him alive to beat him, torture him, tie him to and keep him tied. Many difficulties he faces. And then he asks Rama, of course, what are you doing, Rama? Are you not seeing me? I am undergoing so much difficulty. Then one fine day what happens? Rama and Lakshmana appear to this fellow, this Tanasha. That is where I feel very bad about God. God does not appear to Ramadasa. He doesn't give money to Ramadasa, go and give to the king. They both come to the Tanasha and they give all the 10,000 varahas, 10,000 gold coins, okay, they give to Rama. And Tanasha was very like in the mid of the night, they both come and give and then go away. Tanasha has no clue who these people are. He asks Ramadasa, who are they? Do you know them? Then he asks, how did they look? Then he describes them. See, one, they are this height, they're very height. One is very black, one is very bright in color, and they were having some Raja Chihnas and all that he describes. Then Ramadasa knows that this is Rama and Lakshmana, none other than them. So these all happened in this world, and there are many events that happened not only in Ramadasa's life, but all the Bhaktas' lives. Bhagavan comes for them. Okay, then we have Vengamamba. So this is my Tirupati. I am from Tirupati. Okay. Thank you. So my Tirupati has a lady who is again my inspiration. Her name is Vengamamba. Vengamamba is both her names. She declared that Venkateshwara Swami is her husband. So can a lady in this world say that Bhagavan is her husband and live up to that? Like a devoted wife, she lived for Venkateshwara. Her physical world husband dies, but she still wears the flowers, she puts the tilaka and all that, and all the society was against her. And then they stopped her from visiting the temple, and then she was very unhappy. So one day what happened, even now in Tirupati, if you go, behind, not near the temple, near the Pushkarini. The Pushkarini place is there. Near that there are two kind of mandapas are there. One of the mandapas was her house. So what they do is they take the Bhagwan for yatra, Shobha Yatra in the evenings. And when the Ratha was going from her house, it stopped there. It would not move. They tried many things, but something is stuck up, nothing stuck up, everything fine. Until there it was running, there it stops. Now, before this, what happened? They had stopped Vengamamba from coming to the puja of the Bhagwan. Okay, so she was unhappy, she could not come to the Ratha Yatra. Okay, she's a widow, she's inauspicious, that is what they put on her. And then this Ratha stopped. Then somebody suggested maybe Bhagwan is angry that we are supporting Vengamamba, we are not allowing her into the temple. Then they all went and they paid her, please come out. She says, no, I won't. You said, no, I will not come. I will not disturb any others. I will do my puja at my home. Then they say, no, please come out. Let's try. Just for Ratha's sake, please come. Because Bhagwan has stopped here, we have to take. She comes, she gives the Harati, and then the Bhagwan Ratha runs like on itself. People witness this. This is a historical event of not more than like 200 years ago. Okay, it's very recent event that happened. And then we have Upamanyu. Upamanyu is a very interesting character. And he says, like he does tapasya, then Shiva appears to him. But Shiva doesn't come in his own form. He comes in the form of Indra. But he says, oh, I'll give you boons. Why are you waiting for Shiva? Then he says, no, I want only boon from Shiva. I will not take from any others. Then Indra says, no, Shiva only in the Indra form he comes. Even. Then he starts like pestering him, take boon from me, take boon from. He says, api kitaf patango va bhaveyam shankaragnyaya. Okay, api trailogya rajyam nakamaye. I mean, because of you, Indra, I will not take. Even Triloka you give, na, I will not take. But I will become a small insect or some ant-like being if Shiva makes me so. If Shiva decides that I'll become an ant, I'll become an ant. But don't give me all the Triloka Rajya, all the Rajas you give, I will not take. And we have people singing in the movies, say I want bas itna hi arzu hai. That is what we are taught. Okay, that I want to become the Shahenshah of this world. That is what people ask. If say mil jata hai na bina paise ke, bina kisi cheez ke, so we want everything. See these fellows, he's giving Triloka Rajya, but he's not taking. Okay, that is what we learn. And Kalidasa, we all know Kalidasa, such a great poet, and he is a product of Kali Mata's grace. Okay, so Kali Mata graces him and he becomes a great poet. So these are all the bhaktas I want to take. Many more are there. So these I included in my paper. Then what bhakti means? We can just skip this part. So it means bhaja plus ktin. You should know the dhatu from which I am a Sanskrit person. So it's very important for me to understand a word from its dhatu perspective. So bhaja plus ktin And bhakti as a yoga as love towards the ultimate. So this is the definition I'm trying to work out for the bhakti. Because as a value education, if we want to put it into the education system, then we want something to quantify that. So I'm trying to make that quantifyingness. So bhakti as a para prema, like Narada Bhakti Sutra says, bhakti sa para prema. Okay, so towards the Bhagwan. And aradhya visheka ragattvameva bhaktitvam is a Shandilya Bhakti. So we have two Bhakti Sutras, very famous, Narada Bhakti Sutra and Shandilya Bhakti. So there you can find lot of description about bhakti, how bhakti works and all that. Then, so what bhakti does in somebody's life? Selflessness. First of all, they'll become selfless. And then but in the beginning, it will not happen. So when bhakti is like coming into somebody's life, it will not happen in one go. It will happen in a small steps. Okay. Then from worldliness to spirituality and divinity. But it's very slow and steady going. Okay. Then reaching the goal, shedding of the low and meanness. This is most important. We are seeing that. See, when you go to the worldly education, even our parents tell us, see, beta, baar jaoge to aisa rahega. It's all world is bad. Beware of wrong people. All this we are told. Why are we told? Because we are becoming bad and bad and bad and bad and bad. Do people say, did you hear, apart from technology, did you ever hear that humanity is growing up? There are many good people, they are growing up. You go to this place, you'll feel like this. There are some like divine places. Again, if you want to go to good people, you have to go to some ashramas. How many of you are with me? Isn't it? Do you agree that? In the normal world, we'll not get people who are very good-hearted. You go to ashramas, you'll get them serving without anything. They don't get any salary. Still they serve. They go as volunteers work. So this will make us better. Okay. So that is what I want to bring up. My point is whole lying there. Okay. So sadhana in small steps. If we give the students, the children from beginning, okay, what Vengamamba did, what Ramadasa did from his childhood, from their beginning of the bhakti stages, how did they grow? How did Tyagaraja become what he is now? Okay, so all this can happen in small steps. So the gopis, now we do all this for bhakti, we think we are doing it for mukti. Liberation is according to the our like Sanatan Dharma, liberation is the ultimate. Mukti is the ultimate cause which we work for. We all say, okay, dharmartha kama moksha. Moksha is the ultimate goal. But you have gopis. This is very famous account where when Uddhava comes and asks, I'll bring Krishna Bhagwan to you. They say, no, don't bring him. Because we don't want mukti. We want to keep in his missing him. We love missing him. We love thinking about him. So this is the Paraprema. Narada also gives the examples of gopis. That is when I understood, oh, these are so important. They become an icon of bhakti. Okay, so this is it. Then what values can we can discuss on this? So calmness and composure. You all know about all this. I will not explain. They accept life temporariness. So they are becoming they don't say we are here for permanent. So they don't value money. They don't value material comforts and all. Okay, so worldly pleasures are seen in low light by them. They don't care for worldly pleasure, whether I'm feeling happy, sad, I have good material, I have so much money, I have a job, I have family. Nothing will value. They will not value for all these things. They accept the will and wish of the Bhagwan. I told you in the beginning. They say whatever good happens because of Bhagwan. Whatever bad happens because of Bhagwan. Then they have karmanyevadhikaraste. So that principle is there in the Bhagavad Gita. They totally follow it from A to Z. Okay. And then the most important thing in a bhakta I observed is they never indulge to crime. So we don't have any fear of controlling. So less criminals, more bhaktas, less criminals in the society. Okay, they are self-engaged, and you need not they don't look for movies, they don't look for entertainment, they don't look for resorts, they don't look for anything. They look for temples. If they go to some place, they go to temples. Otherwise, they are happy at their home meditating about Bhagwan. So they less money is spent, even money is saved. Okay. And then they are very time conscious. They use the time much out of their, they have to earn their bread. They have to work for the family's sake and all. Apart from that, whatever time is left, they are using for Bhagwan. So time wasting, or it's time zyada hai. Main kya karu is time? Main yaar movie dekhu, ye karu, wo karu. All that is not there. Okay, in their lives. And then they take less and yield more, material comforts or whatever is there. They accept very less. They're happy with little things they have. Okay, so this will make a higher human being. So you're observing my point, right? It all leads to making somebody into a higher human being. They are very sincere, they are trustworthy. trustworthy people, they never say asatya. So satya, dharma, ahimsa, shanti, prema, sahadharma, samabhava, sarva samabhava, all these are like found in them. They are very dharmic and work minded. Okay, they keep on working something, they don't sit idly. But even when they sit idle, it's not idle, it is the meditative mode they are always in. And they are very humanitarian. I have seen many temples where bhaktas go and they do lot of service without anything in return. The temple doesn't pay them. By the way, if you see somebody working in the ashramas, the temples and ashramas don't pay them. Okay, and then they don't indulge in fights and arguments. Say यार जाओ यार, तुम अपने रास्ते जाओ, मेरा टाइम वेस्ट हो रहा है, इतना ज्यादा आर्ग्यू करूंगा तो मेरा मन खराब हो जाएगा, and with the खराब mind I cannot serve the Bhagwan. So they don't indulge into any kind of arguments and all. Okay, so they don't blame and accuse anybody. यार सब मेरा ग्रह दोष है, ठीक है. They don't say Bhagwan did this. They don't say मेरा बुरा कर्म है जिसने ये किया है. So that is their principle. The karma is given by Bhagwan is a karma sakshi. He is in karma phala pradata. That is how we describe. So Bhagwan is the dharma's abode of dharma, abode of satya, and the karma phala pradata. He gives the fruit of karmas whatever we did. So वो क्या सोचता है, भगवान ने दिया है पर it is according to my karma only he gave. So that is his ultimate siddhanta in his life. He will not mess up with that siddhanta at any point of time. Okay, then but there are some problems and that the bhaktas face. I have seen them being accused of these things. First of all, they are accused of laziness because they have to do lot of meditation and they don't to indulge in worldly activities. यार इसको क्या हो गया, इसका दिमाग खराब है क्या? People want to go to psychiatrist and get him tested. Sometimes they go to that extent. That like procrastinate, say यार होगा यार, भगवान देख लेंगे, हो जाएगा. Some kinds they are very high level bhaktas actually, and we misinterpret it as procrastination. This fatalism in them. See, fatalism is not trying for good. हमें अच्छा बनना है, बेहतर बनना है. बेहतर किसमें? When we talk of worldly things, बेहतर money. We want more money, more status, more power, more. In the worldly lines. But these people try for more in this other line. Other people cannot recognize it. Okay, so they just accuse them of fatalism. Then planlessness. They don't plan much. Okay, I'll do after 10 years, I'll be here. Then I'll go there. This money I want, this bank, but no, nothing is there in their minds. Except भगवान आज का टाइम यार जा रहा है, क्योंकि टेम्पररी है ना, वर्ल्ड टेम्पररी है. We can die at any time, so we should use the time for Bhagwan. Is that the only feeling they have got? They are very careless. Mostly we seem that they don't care for money. चला गया ठीक है. जैसे वो तुकाराम बोलता है ना, वो कुत्ता लेकर जाता है, कृष्ण जी आपने घी भी लेकर जाइए, सिर्फ आप रोटी लेकर गए. So this kind of thing, they don't care. Like कुत्ता लेकर जा रहा है तो कुत्ते में भी उसको भगवान दिखता है, ठीक है. Then they don't invest. So banks will be not benefited by these bhaktas. Okay, and then they don't have any future planning. So they don't own anything. So this house is mine. They're not proud about owning the worldly things. Okay, so these are the kind of accusations on them. But what is actually happening is they're spending time with bhakti. You can go ahead. Then they are creative. They use their time in creative writing. Okay, there are people whom I have seen practically. So he's a very good poet. He's a very good writer. But you know, घर वाले कैसे, क्या मिलता है तुमको? What do you get out of this? This is a plain question. They cannot answer this question, but they want to write. We don't understand their feelings. That's why we accuse them of wrong things. Okay, they're like Mirabai is a very good poet. Abhangs you have, Tukaram's high level poetries. Okay, so these all they have written. Even Ramadasa is like, there are very beautiful songs of Ramadasa in Telugu. I love singing them. I love like hearing to them. The sublimate feelings of bhakti he expresses, they have no equal. Okay, and they are all subjective. They are very subjective ideas. Only the bhakta who is undergoing that can say those feelings. Okay, and they are always submitting to dharma. They never complain. So this is the actual status of a bhakta. They are planning bigger actually. जैसे भगवान बुद्ध ने बोला है ना कि you are the ones who are more tyagis. You are giving up that other world for this world. So when we say you're not earning for this world, then what does have? You are earning for that world. So they plan bigger in their lives. So my conclusion points. This is what I had thought over from years together. Okay. Have been like working on this. So how to give it as a value education? Now you have seen a bhakta's life as a normal happening to all of us, life as a phenomena, as we take it presently, how a bhakta takes it, And now adding the values to this, what can we do? That is my conclusion part. Okay, so it must be the lives of bhaktas must be kept in the curriculum. We should study the lives of bhaktas, their events. We should research upon them. How is it? How is the karma working? So bhakta's life is directly related to karma. He submits to karma. He doesn't go against. So we'll get very good data, like how karma is exploring, how it is expressing itself in the life. Then historically, they are historically verified. It's a history. Ramadasa is a history, but Mirabai is a history. Can you say Mirabai is a like legendary character? She's not a true character. Can anybody of you say, Arey, she lived in Rajasthan, we have many like poems she wrote. She's not a fake character. So we can study them in the research, true research. Okay, then there are the inspiring events, only the events part. So there was like like when Dokka Sitamma Devi is there, she used to feed people, and one day she had to go somewhere and she comes back to no, not this event, I'm sorry. So this Potana's life, yeah, he invites many people for food. There was no food, so Rama brings food to them. Lot of food occurs. Suddenly the guests come and the food also comes. Okay, so the people come, they give the food, they serve and go away. Means Rama comes, Lakshmana comes, he brings all his people, they serve for the guests and go away. So all kinds of that kinds of events which are very like they horripilate our body, they give us happiness. So we should include them in the curriculum for the students to understand them and get. I mean, this is possible. So what is like, okay, uske जीवन में हो, मेरे जीवन में नहीं होगा. You'll not say that because it happened on this worldly earth, this physical earth, in this physical world it happened. So it can happen to us as well. So element of bhakti as a skill and divinity is a practice. So how to practice bhakti, how to make it structural? See, what our dharma is lacking today is we have structural problems. See, our dharma is very open. This openness is given not to confine you. यार फलाना दिन तुमको मंदिर जाना है, फलाना दिन तुमको दान करना है, फलाना दिन तुमको ऐसा confined नहीं है. There are many auspicious days. There are many occasions where we can go to a temple, we can associate with Bhagwan. So that is the openness our dharma offers. So that is why we cannot confine. But if we study this structural, these things as a practice, then what did they do? Vengamamba, what she used to do, she used to have a Venkateshwara this Pratima, and she used to play with it like, you're my husband, I'll give you like the flowers, like from like childhood, right from the childhood. She used to do that. So how they are practicing it? They are bringing a Pratima, they are giving it flowers. This one, Goda Devi is also famous for that. She used to give garlands to Venkateshwara. Okay, and all this, like we can make it a practice. We can like learn from their lives and use those techniques. Then we have like North India bhaktas who are not known in South India, and South India bhaktas like Ramadasa, you haven't heard about him. Vengamamba, until somebody goes to Tirupati and sees her Jiva Samadhi. Her Jiva Samadhi, if you go to Tirupati next time, please visit her. I always keep telling this, okay? She's a wonderful lady and she's alive. The Jiva Samadhi means she became a Samadhi when she was alive. So she still listens to us. If we go and speak with her, we can connect with her. If some of you have like the divine, you know, you have that calmness inside, you can hear her, you can have that calmness and all that, whichever you want as a return, and the answers to your questions will be given through her. So such things we can develop. We can write in Hindi, we can write in English the accounts of Vengamamba, Ramadasa and all. We should get more like translated literature. And the ashramas and life places of those people, like these bhaktas, whichever places they are connected with, we can go to those places, okay? And we can write books on them, okay? And bhakti as a like natural phenomena. Bhakti should not appear as a miraculous event, something out of the world. You know, miracles only happen for others. It cannot happen to me. I'll tell you, I mean, in the Sabhamukha, we should not tell certain things, but yes, it works, and it's my personal experience. Many times it worked. I want to conclude with a beautiful note on my personal life right now, which is happening. While coming to Coimbatore, it's a first time experience. I was afraid in my mind, okay? I'm not much into traveling and going to other places. Everything becomes a messed up activity in my life. Everything gets disturbed. So I was just praying, so can I get any help here? And right from my step one, I'm getting so many help, so much nice people around here, arranging things for me, helping me around to become like making my life comfortable. So I'm very happy that Bhagwan works this way, Bhakti works this way. So I want to assure you that if we keep this Bhakti as a value education point, it will add up to our lives and it will make our lives more rich, meaningful and calmer, and we will find the solutions to all problems which we are facing in this day. Thank you so much.
Very hard to touch presentation, ma'am. Wonderful presentation. The flow is excellent, ma'am. Beautifully you connect Bhakti and value education, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your time for us today. Keep in touch, ma'am, in future days.
Sure.
Thank you so much.